Okay. Let's have the first one. Okay. Just up there, please. May you tell us your story and keep it short, please? There's a line already, please.
Thank you. I'm here today because of a medical condition. I contracted cancer several years ago. My medical care wasn't good enough to cover all the costs. It's incredible how expensive everything is. Well, I couldn't work, lost my job. Then they came for my house, and it was the only thing I had left. Bank gave me a month to come up with the money, and before I was evicted. It was awful.
Okay, take a place in the back. Next. Just, back there someplace. Yeah. There you go.
I don't belong here. I shouldn't even be here. I am so sick and tired of the way you and others like you treat me and my family. My husband lost his job. He had a good job in a manufacturing plant. He was skilled and he was trained and he was highly paid. We had a beautiful home. Our kids, they were happy. Then the plant closed. What were we supposed to do? We got all the help from the state that we possibly could, but he was a proud man. He always kept saying that he failed us. He failed us. And then one day, I found him in the garage. I was just so grateful that the kids didn't see him that way. I told him that their dad got sick. We didn't have enough money for a funeral. And so here we are, kids and I. We move from friends to friends. We live in hotels when the churches can support us. Honestly, I just move around so much because I'm embarrassed.
Okay, take your place over there, please. Next. Okay, folks, come on. We've got a lot of people waiting. Just up there, tell your story, please. Keep it quick. We've got line already. Don't you want to say anything? Don't you want to tell your story? I mean, this is your chance. You can... No. Okay, just come over here and stand in the line with the others, please.
Okay. Hey, nice to see you. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Reeb, how are you, man?
I'm good.
What's going on? Good to see you, buddy.
Mwah.
How are you?
Hey,
What's
I'm
happening?
Good. I'm good. What's going on here?
Oh, same old, same old. You just go through the line. You give the people the numbers. You do the best you can. It's one of those days.
Well, it looks like you're writing things down. What is this?
Oh, it's not anything to do with these folks. I've just got, I got a lot of paperwork to keep track of. So they tell their story. I give them a number. They go up there, and then I go back to finishing my paperwork.
Well, okay. So you write their name down. You give them a number, and then what happens?
Reber, you've heard the statistics, right? We talked about this at dinner the other night. 13.7% of the population of Sussex County is below the poverty line. Reeb, man, that's 28,000 people. I'm lucky I can give them numbers. How could I possibly do anything to help them? I mean, the number thing, I think we're doing good by giving them numbers.
Giving me your data information here, right? So that's good. So, and I'm looking at
Reber? Reber, what are you doing?
What? Well, I was just talking to them over here, and I thought maybe I could help.
You want to do what?
I just thought I could help. Is that... No?
Reber, you will ruin the system. There is a system in place.
Wait, just...
I won't be able to get all these people numbers if you start trying to help them.
Just wait 1 minute, please. Would you guys come help me, please? Somebody come help me. Come help me, please. Please.
Folks, I'm sorry. I'll get to you in just a minute.
I
don't know what's going on here.
Hold on. Just hold on 1 second. I think I got something going here. All right. Come here. Circle these people. Let's just circle these people. There you go. That's it.
Well, what about these?
So hold on now. Come on.
You're ruining the system,
guys.
Reber. Here, wait. She's number 4. Come on. She's got to have a number.
Oh, you got to have a number.
You have to have a number.
You got to have a number.
You got to have. There's 28,000 people, Reber. They've got to have numbers.
We need people in here, right in here. We got more people coming in. Incoming. All right. Okay.
Okay. Now, is it possible for me to get back to work? I mean, what are you doing here?
What do you think?
I think there are people with numbers. I mean, but there are a lot more people coming in the door.
Well. Oh. Go ahead. Look at this. Bring the numbers. Look.
You're right. Absolutely.
Nice job, everyone. That's it. Congratulations. Let's just walk each other off. Good job.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
I'm just going to walk then. We'll let you guys go first.
I love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied every groan. Long as I live and troubles rise, I hasten to His throne. Jesus. Transfiguration. The last Sunday before Lent. What does it mean? What is it all about? Why do we have to face this today? If you look in the dictionary, and I still do look in the dictionary, that is, under the segment for trans, it says, across, on the other side, beyond or through. The number 3 definition of trans is to change or to transfer. Figure. By the time you get to definition number 7, it's the impression an individual makes. To transfigure is to change or move beyond the impression an individual makes. Biblical scholars will tell us that because the Transfiguration appears in 3 of the 4 gospel stories, that we can be pretty sure of 2 things. Number 1, that the portrayal is accurate. All 3 gospel stories tell it the same way. Very few minor deviations. Few little bits here and there, but minor. So we know that it's accurate. The other thing we know, if a story appears 3 times in 3 different scriptures almost exactly the same way, is that it's really, really important that we pay attention to it. What did it mean for the disciples, this transfiguration experience? What did it mean for them? For Peter, James, and John to go up on the mountain with Jesus and see in glory before them Not only the transfigured face of Jesus Christ, who they thought they knew pretty well by this time. They thought they had a pretty good handle on who he was and what he was doing and what he was all about. Jesus took them up on the mountain. He was transfigured before them. The impression he had made on them was changed, and they were called to move beyond that impression that Jesus had made. They saw Moses and Elijah, the whole of their Hebrew history, all of their faith encapsulated in one place. They knew that for Messiah to come, Elijah had to appear, and there he was, standing there. There was Moses, the giver of the law, the father of the faith. Everything that was part of their history and tradition was standing in their presence. This was momentous for them. They heard the voice from heaven, "Behold, this is my Son, the beloved." Remember, they weren't there at the baptism. There's no account anywhere in the baptism that says Peter, James, and John just happened to be standing by the side of the water at the time, so they didn't hear the voice from heaven. They heard it here. They heard it now. And it was important for them to hear it. It was important for them to feel and be in the presence of God in that moment. 3 times the story appears, 3 times the same. That's how powerful this story of moving beyond the impression someone makes really is. What does it mean for us? Where's the power in this experience of God that happened to the disciples? Where's the power for us? Where's God's message for us? Transform, transfigure, see beyond the impression that's been made. What if we transform? What if we transfigure the impression that people have made on us in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our families? You all know the stories where you go to the funeral and Uncle Charlie, who you haven't seen in 20 years, shows up and he's just as obnoxious and annoying as he was 20 years ago. Transfigure Uncle Charlie. Can you do it? Can we do it? Can we change the impression we have of others? Can we take a whole population of people and see them differently? Can we see brothers and sisters in our neighborhoods, in our communities, through different eyes? Through the eyes of the power that's given to the disciples that day? Can we do it? Transform. What if we transform the image we have of ourselves? Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not strong enough. Oh, I'm not brave enough. I'm not gifted enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not heavy enough. What if we stop looking at ourselves through those eyes? What if we look at ourselves through the eyes of transfiguration? What if the impression we make on ourselves when we look in the mirror is changed? Can we do it? Is it possible to change the way we look at ourselves? Listen. This is my beloved Son. Listen to him. God says that from heaven. And we can listen in the most passive of ways. Okay, go on, I'll give you 10 minutes. Like the attendant listened to the homeless stories, completely shutting them out. We can do that to God. We can listen like that. But the root of the word listen is the same root for the word obey. It's a whole big Latin configuration I can do for you someday in my office, but we're not doing it this morning. But the word comes from the root word to obey. And if you follow the dictionary a little further down the line, it says, to give authority to. This is my Son, the beloved. Give him authority in your life. That's what listen means. Give God authority in your life. Can we do that? And then Peter, the wonderful, says, let's build some tents. Let's try and box God in right here, because you see what Jesus was doing was he was bringing God down from the mountaintop. The whole Hebrew experience of God's presence among them had always been up on the mountain, up in the cloud, up into Mount Horeb, up into the burning bush, up. Jesus, in this moment, was bringing God down off the mountaintop and into our everyday lives. And Peter rightly said, oh no, let's build a booth, quick. Let's stop it right here. We don't want to do that. We don't want God in our everyday lives. We don't want God messing around in our business. No. Let's keep him up on the mountain, then we can go visit him whenever we want. No. You can't contain God. You can't control God. Our God will not be kept in a booth. He will not. And every step along the way, that message is given, and it's most powerfully given here at the scene of the Transfiguration. God will not be kept in a booth. The church is homeless. We have no home. We have buildings that are lovely and wonderful and blessings. But the church is homeless. Wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am. That's church. Whenever I walk into an ICU unit or I stand in a hospital bed surrounded by family, that's church. I get out in the parking lot and somebody starts telling me how much pain they're in or how much suffering they're in. I grab their hands, that's church. Wherever I send you, you go. That's church. The church is homeless. Jesus, the Christ, was homeless. How many times in the story do we hear him say, I have no place to lay my head. I have no home. The Son of Man has no home. He was born a migrant, itinerating to another country, to another land, to another town. Born in a stable, running to Egypt to stay away from the government. Under pressure. He was pursued by religious and political authorities till he died the death on a cross of a common criminal. Homeless. When he rose from the dead, what's the first thing he said to the women? Don't hold on to me. You can't hold this kind of power. You can't hold God. Don't build a booth to put me in, because I'm coming into your neighborhood. I'm coming into your house. I'm coming into your family. And that's where I'm building my booth. That's where I'm making my home. That's where I'm setting up my tent. Don't try and keep me away. Transfigure. Change the way we see. Listen. Obey. Give authority to Jesus in our lives. And don't try and put God in a booth, because it's not going to work. Not going to let it happen. There's a 4th piece to this story. And it comes way back at the beginning, and we can try and sort of slide over it. But the passage that was read today actually starts this way. And 6 days after this, Jesus took them up on a mountain. I love those phrases. You know what I call them? I call them speed bumps. Those are the ones that make you stop and go, 6 days after. 6 days after what? 6 days after this. It's like, oh no, that's too easy. 6 days after what? Why is that mentioned? Because there aren't a lot of numerical sightings in Scripture. This was real specific. One of them says 8 days, and 2 of them say 6. 6 days after this. The this that Jesus refers to, the this that the gospel writer refers to here, is the story of discipleship. It's the story of how 6 days ago, Jesus told the disciples what it would mean if they wanted to follow him. And here's where our connection to the Lenten journey comes in really tight. Because what Jesus said to them 6 days ago was, if you want to follow me, deny yourself. Pick up your cross. Let's go. That's what Jesus said 6 days ago. 6 days before his transfiguration. And one wants to assume that Peter, James, and John had said, okay, we're in. Because they were the only three who went up the mountain. The only three. Deny yourselves. Take up your cross. Let's go. We got work to do. We've got to transfigure the world. Brothers and sisters, we are about to come upon another season of Lent, and I always claim it as a time to rejoice that God gives us another year, another time around the clock, another calendar season to celebrate God's amazing, incredible love for us. We're the ones who are called up the mountaintop this day. We're the ones who are blessed, who are privileged, who are given the opportunity to witness the glory of Christ. Mark's gospel says it this way. They heard the voice, and when they looked around, there was no one there. And I want to say to us, if we could finish that sentence for Mark, it would go like this. They heard the voice. They looked around. No one was there but one another. The only ones who were there are each other. This is our call. This is our season of Lent. This is our Transfiguration Sunday, the day we are called to walk into the season of Lent with joy. God has great things planned for us.